terms of generalities, that in general things lean far more left. Would you agree to that?
But I want to throw back to this clip from about 5 years ago, and I'm sure most of my audience will remember this. This is when Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey and Twitter head of legal Vijaya Gadde were on Joe Rogan's show with Tim Pool, and it was obvious to many of us that there was massive censorship. We didn't know that the government was directly involved, but CEO Jack Dorsey and head of legal, so she was in charge of all of the decision-making related to censorship, she was getting grilled by Tim Pool on Rogan. Take a look.
One really important thing that needs to be stated is that Twitter, by definition, is a biased platform in favor of the left, period. It's not a question. I understand you might have your own interpretation, but it's very simple. Conservatives do not agree with you on the definition of misgendering. If you have a rule in place that specifically adheres to the left ideology, you, by default, are enforcing rules from a biased perspective.
Well, Tim, there are a lot of people on the left who don't agree with how we're doing our job either.
For sure.
And those people think that we don't take enough action on abuse and harassment, and we let far too much behavior go. And they think
but
that
that's
Twitter...
a radical example, though. I mean, what he's talking about, I mean, in terms of generalities, that in general things lean far more left. Would you agree to that?
I don't know what that means.
But in this particular case, it's how the speech is being used. This is a new vector of attack that people have felt that I don't want to be on this platform anymore because I'm being harassed and abused and I need to get the hell out.
So, of course, Tim Pool was right, and we now know that Vijaya and Jack Dorsey, they are no longer at Twitter. Elon got rid of them very quickly. We'll get to a video of Elon on Rogan last week in just a sec. But when you watch that in retrospect, it's like, man, she was basically an agent of the government. And Jack Dorsey, by the way, who said, even in a tweet to me, that we do not shadow ban at Twitter, I was then at Twitter 6 months ago, and they showed me under the hood the entire system that they have there was designed to shadow ban. So I suppose none of this surprises you in retrospect.
Not at all.
Army.
I mean, look, like I said, I've been suing these companies for longer than anybody I know. And I was on a panel one time, many years ago, with the head of litigation at Facebook. And he used almost the identical words that Vijaya Gadde just used. I mean, these guys talk to each other. This has been their party line. Well, the left's not happy with us either. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's not an answer to the problem. And what we now know is that the censorship industrial complex is way more vast and pervasive, and there are almost certainly censorship activities that have yet to be uncovered. And not to mention, I read an alarming report this morning about sock puppet accounts that our government is using to spread propaganda in foreign countries, and probably our own country. And, there are a lot of things that Elon hasn't had a chance yet to deal with. So none of that surprises me, and none of that answers for the government, state and federal governments, pervasive censorship of American citizens. What happened at the federal level is just one part of it. I described to you the lawsuit we filed with Center for American Liberty for Rogan O'Hanley. That was California's Secretary of State doing it, and many other state secretaries of state have done that, and they have their own level of immunity, which makes it difficult to sue them in federal court over federal claims. So it's a complicated situation.